that was just sheer frustration. I just was frustrated to the point, no return.
You guys, Jenny from 90 Day Fiance used to be married to someone else before Sumit, and they seemed pretty happy together. But then something crazy happened and she filed for divorce after 15 years of marriage, and you'll never believe what happened between them. So guys, even though 90 Day Fiance dedicated basically an entire season storyline to Sumit's hidden marriage, everyone has been left in the dark when it came to Jenny's marital history until now, because just recently, In Touch Weekly revealed the surprising details of Jenny's first marriage, as well as the identity of the reality star's ex-husband. And so it turns out that Jenny got married to Ralph Edwards in 1987, and it seems like Jenny's always had a thing for younger men, because Ralph was 7 years younger than her. I mean, isn't that crazy to think that Sumit wasn't even alive yet when Jenny and Ralph tied the knot, and he was actually born a year later in 1988, which is just wild. But let's get back to Jenny and Ralph. So after spending 15 years married to Ralph, everything came crashing down for Jenny because she shockingly filed for divorce in May of 2002, and although it wasn't publicly announced, it seems like their union may have ended because Ralph had been unfaithful. A surprising comment Jenny made on an episode of 90 Day Fiance shed a little bit of light on the subject. Jenny sadly revealed that her first marriage ended up really hurting her self-esteem because allegedly Ralph decided to leave her for someone else, and after Jenny filed for divorce, the process was far from over. I mean, I can't even imagine what a heartbreaking time this must have been for Jenny, and it looks like it got even more stressful because it appears that Ralph and Jenny's divorce was drawn out mostly due to the fact that they had 3 daughters who were under 18 at the time. And the former couple had to deal with custody struggles in court, and it allegedly took quite a time to reach a solution. And this is honestly crazy. And reportedly, Jenny requested copies of her divorce documents in July of 2021, just 1 month before she and Sumit finally got married. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like the date her divorce was finalized is public. And I wonder how long it took for Jenny and Ralph to officially be divorced. Ralph seemingly changed a lot after his divorce from Jenny. Only 4 years after Jenny filed for, to end their marriage, he got married to a new wife, Sandra, and apparently Ralph and Sandra are still married and currently living in Vista, California. And it turns out that Ralph's relationship status wasn't the only thing he changed after his divorce from Jenny. Ralph had reportedly worked as a licensed vocational nurse at Fallbrook Hospital in California, and from the looks of it, when Ralph's nursing license expired in 2012, he decided to make an unexpected career change because it appears that Ralph got his real estate certificate that same year and is now working as a realtor. And Ralph seems to have a true passion for realty. He often posts his listings on social media, as well as home buying tips and advice in the housing market. And luckily for Ralph, it looks like Sandra is very supportive of his career and often shares his updates to her own Facebook page. And her social media also shows something else that's surprisingly positive. At least from what her Facebook shows, Sandra gets along pretty well with Ralph and Jenny's kids, who are now adults, and it looks like she's relatively involved with their 4 grandchildren as well, which is great to see. And many viewers have wondered about the lives of Jenny and Ralph's daughters, and what they've revealed online is pretty interesting. I mean, the former couple's oldest daughter, Christina, has been on the show a few different times, and Christina and her wife Jen let Jenny crash at their place after she sacrificed her job and car and apartment and everything else in order to get ready for her move to India. And another of Jenny's kids has been shown on 90 Day Fiance as well, but only very briefly. Dominique was featured on an episode as well, and after Jenny, was shown to be going through a seriously heart-wrenching time. And when Jenny discovered that Sumit was already married to a secret wife, she returned to the US but had nowhere to live, and thankfully Dominique had her mom's back and let Jenny crash on her couch while she processed the crazy news about Sumit. And no wonder Christina has often been shown trying to, give Jenny advice on how to deal with Sumit and his family. And unfortunately, not much is known about Ralph and Jenny's other daughter. She must really want to keep her life private and out of the public eye, which I can kind of understand. I mean, Sumit and Jenny have been through a ton of ups and downs, and not all their attention from the show has been very good. And lately, they've been caught up in even more outrageous speculations. And recently, Jenny was allegedly seen on a flight from New York to her old hometown of Palm Springs, California. And according to the Reddit user who made the claim, Jenny was not traveling with Sumit and even appeared to be pretty sad during the solo trip. And this has sparked rumors that Jenny and Sumit are struggling in their marriage more than we might think, and maybe had even called it quits. And even though Jenny and Sumit are likely bound by non-disclosure agreements to not discuss anything that could be on their current season, someone close to Jenny did make a bizarre revelation. Christina shared a picture of her and Jenny smiling, and in the post caption, she admitted that Jenny was in fact in California. And that's not the only thing Christina shared, though. According to Christina and her Instagram post, Jenny is only in Palm Springs to visit, not to live there permanently. And it appears that Christina is over the internet speculations about her mother's marriage because she made a surprising plea in the post. So Christina asked her followers not to believe the crazy rumors online, which I can only assume is a reference to many people thinking that Jenny and Sumit may have split up. And while it's great news that the couple might still be together, not everyone is convinced that they're truly happy together. And the reason why is insane. So as we've seen so far in 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, Jenny and Sumit haven't exactly had smooth sailing during their first year of marriage. Sumit's family basically disowned him for marrying Jenny, and then Jenny acted honestly explosive during a fight with him, and many viewers are convinced that the longtime couple is facing problems for a number of unbelievable reasons. And whether it's the 30-year age gap between Jenny and Sumit, or cultural differences, or just contrasting personalities, I mean, some of their hopes and dreams are looking a little mismatched. And in one of the recent episodes, you guys, they were seen starting their honeymoon, and the trip got off to a rocky start immediately when Sumit was excitedly talking about the cool adventures he was hoping to have during the honeymoon, and it became clear that Jenny's ideas were very different. And while her husband planned to go bungee jumping and whitewater rafting, Jenny was hopeful to get, to spend some quality time with Sumit by relaxing peacefully with him. And as much as Jenny claims to be a not your average 64-year-old, it seems like the age gap is honestly starting to show up in even more unexpected ways. And Sumit sprung some shocking news on his wife shortly after getting to their hotel, and apparently he's planning on returning to the food industry and working 6 days a week. And Jenny, who cashed in her 401k to move to India, is already at the age where she wants to enjoy her retirement. And as much as I want things to work out for them, this seems like a pretty big hurdle to compromise on, but hopefully they can find some common ground somewhere. And despite the differences between Jenny and Sumit, I really hope that their marriage goes better than Jenny's marriage to Ralph, and maybe over time we'll get to learn more about her first husband on the show. But for now, I guess we'll just have to watch how Jenny and Sumit handle their marital struggles on 90 Day Fiance. But I want to know what you think. What are your thoughts on Jenny's marriage and divorce from her husband Ralph? Do you think Jenny and Sumit are still happily married, or could there be trouble in paradise? Let me know in the comments below.